It's me, it's me. It's the RBV, Rick Vickery, and we are back again on one wrestling video. This is Smacktalk for Tuesday, June 26, 2018. So much to cover. So you know what? I'm just gonna kick it over to the Bronx Bomber baby, Big Ray Hernandez. Welcome back to your show, brother.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am the reporter of the people, the man on the planet, Big Ray, here to stay to talk some lucha libre, which is Spanish for wrestling today. And I am here with I'm officially a Huckleberry. I don't know if you guys know. I actually jumped over the former Huckleberry known as Billy Ray Valentine, but he's still a Huckleberry. He's number 4. Apparently, I've been promoted to number 3, so I'm pretty excited about that, number 1. So much awesome news moving forward, guys. And I'm going to jump in the chat room in just a quick minute, so I just want to say hello to all you guys. And really quickly, I just really wanted to express a little congratulations to our friend Connor OK who has now joined the Fight Network, and he very graciously put up a video telling us, putting me over and stuff, and putting over pretty much onewrestling.com, and he's done a great job. So I wanted to congratulate him for that, and I got some pretty cool news moving forward with myself as we proceed to do Smack Talk. So we have a hell of a lot to talk about, Mr. Rick Vickery. Why don't you just jump in right there, my friend?
Well, I was gonna say, you know what? Hey, congratulations to Connor. What an amazing. You talk about someone. Everyone says that chant, "You deserve it." Us over here, we are totally against that. It's about you earned it. So much great work. What he's got going on. Kudos to him. Ray, you're jumping in the chat room. I know we got people waiting to talk. This is not just Big Ray show. This is just not my show. This is everyone's show. This is the most interactive program, live program that you're going to find each and every week. And yes, it is brought to you one wrestling video. But you know what? Before we jump into the red brand, the blue brand, each and every week, you know what? I want to go around the globe. Let's get Ray talking. Let's talk about some headlines here. Ray, I want to kick it off with something for you that's very dear to your heart that you've been following for a long time. Eli Drake staying with Impact. What are your thoughts, brother?
Well, first and foremost, that is big. I didn't think Eli Drake was going to re-sign with Impact Wrestling. All the signs basically pointed to Eli Drake moving, working with the WWE. The guy has a great look. He's just a phenomenal talent. He's really developed his character quite a bit. And I just want to say that I'm really happy that technically we have and I know Eli Drake started his career outside of Impact Wrestling, and technically he was in WWE developmental for quite some time. But the truth of the matter is that I love the fact that I would call him a homegrown talent, just like EC3, who started off his career in the WWE, but EC3, that character, was developed and was created at Impact Wrestling. So I would call him an Impact guy. AJ Styles, same thing. Well, that guy's, he's, from the beginning, the guy has always been a TNA guy pretty much, or an Impact Wrestling guy. But I think this is now a point of juncture where TNA can proceed to keep building with a guy like Eli Drake. You have Moose, who wants to call himself Mr. Impact Wrestling, who signed to a 3-year contract with the company. These are two guys that can both be stars for this company as they continue to move forward, giving opportunities to those wrestlers out there like Rick Swann, who's going to be making his debut for Impact Wrestling this week. Dude, I'm telling you, this is not a little thing. This is a pretty big deal, because I think if Eli Drake would have went over to NXT, he probably would have gotten lost in the shuffle right now. Maybe he saw that moving forward. Maybe he saw that his opportunities wouldn't be as, let's just say, prominent.
I was gonna ask you there. Maybe there was a bit of maybe that swayed his decision when you see people like a Bobby Roode, a Bobby Lashley, where they're not maybe usually using your talents that you believe they are. But I think it speaks more to the quality of Impact Wrestling that they believe that they can stay there and become superstars.
I just want to give, before I answer your question, before I talk about what you're talking about, my friend, I just want to give a quick shout out, because I love to do this, to some of the people that are right now in the chat room. We have Noah Laura, or am I saying this right? No, Laura. N-O-E Laura. I can't read. Anyway,
They know who you are.
Michael Davis, what's going on, my friend? The Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy, which is possibly one of the best freaking names I've ever heard in my life. Mr. Michael Davis, who joins us weekly. We're gonna have a bunch of other people joining us real soon, but hold on.
Talk about Guardian of Chaos. Chaos has got a big fight coming up at the G1 special against Bullet Club. I mean, because the old man Haku is going to be lining up against that man. Chaos might be in for some trouble there.
Can I address Mr. Chaos's question here?
You can.
He asked me, "Where's Big Willie?" Well, Mr. William Apter, or as we know him, Bill Apter, is a very busy man, and me and Rick Vickrey are here every single week, every single Tuesday at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time to do this live, gimmick here, and to have you guys talk and enjoy the show after the show. So, I am the quote-unquote official protege of Bill Apter, and of course, Mr. Rick Vickrey, one of our digital reporters here. We do this every week, man, and we love to do it. Why? Because we love talking wrestling. So, welcome, my friend, and please spread the word. Join the fun every single week here again at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Now, what were you asking me, Rick?
I think we're going back. So, is it not so much that Eli's not going to get lost in the WWE shuffle? Is it more now that Impact is actually making their own statement, where stars want to be there because they know they're going to rise? Impact is very hot right now. They have some of the best programs, the best feuds, the best storylines going.
Well, here's the truth. Again, like I said before, if Eli Drake would have went to WWE, I think he would have perhaps been lost in that NXT shuffle right now. Yeah, I think that's a good point that you bring. And who do you have? X-Lay. What's going on, brother? What's going on, family? And thank you, Mr. Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy. I'm gonna have to condense that, but anyway, neither here nor there.
Call him Chaos Daddy.
How about K Daddy?
The K Daddy.
I kind of like that. Anyway, K Daddy. No, but with Eli Drake, see, you made such a great point, man. I do believe that talent is coming to Impact Wrestling, where they're not heavily scripted, where they have a lot more creative control. Where you have a guy like Sami Callihan doing some amazing things. You have really, let me tell you something. It's sad because last week Impact Wrestling, and again, ladies and gentlemen, we will be covering Raw and Smackdown. We're just talking about some news, but last week was one of the best, if not probably the best, Impact Wrestling shows of the entire year. Okay, I'm not even kidding you. It was really good television, and they had very low ratings because you're going against the NBA draft, so on and so forth, and it's a shame. But their ratings have actually been going up over 300,000 a week. Hopefully, one day they can get back to that 500,000, maybe 1 million a week, which was back in the unfortunately the Hulk Hogan Eric Bischoff era. But neither here nor there. I think a lot of talent is coming over. I'm looking forward to seeing what Rick Swann does. I'm looking forward to seeing if they could sign a couple of more really, really solid talents, and and maybe develop more of that NWA-esque, territorial, let's help each other out system they got going, Rick.
Well, we always got to put over Impact because one of the hottest shows in all the podcast game, it is your show. It's Ben Hameen show. It is the Impact Attack. It happens over on the Hameen Media Group on the Hameen, or the hackerhameen.podbean.com. It happens there. It drops every Saturday morning. People got to check that out. But I'm going to flip over here. Instead of just getting your personal opinion, I got a real quick bone to pick with you, man. You were downplaying my Shar in the body.
Me?
No, that wasn't you?
Maybe.
Okay. We'll bypass this. Hey, but another quick plug. Check out the next PW Hustle where I show up, the White Knight, and defend my Shar. Make sure you check that out. Here's something that I know you want to talk about.
Hold on. You want to talk a little bit about Shar? That's fine, but
no. We're gonna
people in the chat room are saying that you need to emphasize the ha in Hameen. So you go www.prowrestlingtees.com/Ben Hameen. Yalla. Sorry.
I come straight from the right. I'm as conservative as you get. So I tread lightly when I touch those issues.
Okay.
But now let's kick it over something you are happy about.
How come you don't touch me anymore, Rick?
You know what? These Buckeye arms, they're getting further and further away from that East Coast feeling.
I want to give a quick shout out, Rick, if that's okay. And I know this young lady is watching. I had an amazing week with her. She came back. She came from Florida. I'm gonna be hanging out with her this July. Tony, her name is Tony Ann. It's not a dude, all right? It's Tony Ann.
Tony,
miss you. What a great week. Good friend, man, from way back in junior high school, and that's middle school for some of you folk. And just what an amazing person that I spent this week with, and looking forward to spending a hell of a lot more time with this beautiful, beautiful young lady. And if you follow me at Big Ray's show on Instagram, you could probably see a picture or two there. So, but yeah, man, I had a great week, dude. And my son has graduated, and he's going to the 5th grade, dude. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I love that. And you know what? To kind of go back to why I'm so conservative, just like the conservatives have to keep this country on track, I have to keep Big Ray on track, because we only have you for an hour and a half. If I just gave Big Ray the run of the mill, you guys would be here until Thursday Eastern time at 10:30. But we're keeping because I want to bring up something that I know that Big Ray is so excited about. He was popping for. He is pumped, but there's actually news being had around this. Now, we saw a great promo with Rey Mysterio in 2K19.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Ray, I know you love the promo. What do you think about, he's been teasing that potential re-signing with WWE. How do you link these two?
Well, I mean, that's pretty simple, man. If you noticed, WWE's had kind of a pattern with having these legends come back or be on the cover or be like special. All right, let's just run down 2 of the last ones. Kurt Angle was special, a special DLC or downloadable content in, I forgot which 2K video game, and Bill Goldberg was the cover of WWE 2K, whatever it was, 17 or whatever the gimmick, 16. So I would assume, and I'm sure they've done that with a couple other wrestlers too. So now you have Rey Mysterio, who's become downloadable content. And by the way, I love the commercial. I loved having everybody except for Sharsha when she came on. I was like, no. But anyway, I'm kidding. She's one of the best in the world. But I was like, wow, okay, so this is a sign to me that not only Rey Mysterio will be downloadable content, but I almost guarantee you, Rick, not that I've heard anything yet, because I always hear things like you always say. And I have
you always hear things, and you're only batting 1 for 4 right now.
Listen, all right. The card is always subject to change. All right. Sometimes maybe they're working the marks here, but what I'm saying is this: I have a really good feeling that Rey Mysterio will be in a WWE ring by WrestleMania, my friend.
Well, here's what I agree with you here. This is a 2K deal. He's on the cover there, but that usually translates into a WWE deal. It's got to be like Hall of Fame stuff. My biggest, I keep hearing these rumors maybe by SummerSlam, but that affects All In. # All In, because he's already lined up for the Buck show. Is the WWE trying to pick people off? Well, and by the way, Mr. Bain, we're going to answer your question. Just keep in mind, Mr. Bain wants to know whether we feel Becky Lynch will get a push for the Women's Championship. Of course, WWE is trying to pick people off. That's what they do. They scour the world for the best talent all over the world, and they pick people off. Listen, man, did you notice something today? Speaking of picking people off and looking at talent, did you notice, and I actually brought this up to Connor O'Kayfabe when we were talking on the phone today. Did you notice that yesterday on Raw and today on SmackDown, there were a few commercials for MLW wrestling on WWE programming? They were not in my area.
Well, in my area, there were multiple commercials for MLW, Major League Wrestling, which is an indie promotion here on the East Coast. And yeah, I was like, what is going on?
Well aware of that, but they're just buying local ad space.
Listen, dude, when is the last time Vince McMahon has allowed an indie promotion or any promotion to buy ad space during their 2 flagship programs? Now, with all that being said, I'm gonna throw it your way. With all that being said, now, does this have to do with not only them picking talent, but remember, WWE was talking about running that indie show. Is this the beginning of that, Rick?
Well, look, we can link these two. And, obviously WWE has a little pool in who can advertise during their programming, but there was a time back in the day in certain markets that Impact, well, TNA Wrestling would buy up ad space in markets here. That's just about the syndicate in an area where you're selling your commercial space. MLW, they're actually probably getting a leeway because let's be honest here, there is actually a good relationship between them. You've got you got like a Conrad Thompson, you got a Bruce Pritchard that are very tight with MLW that are working for the WWE network. There's probably not a lot of ill will there. Now, if you're coming in and you're really trying to like badmouth anything WWE, yeah, you're probably going to get bounced. At this point, they don't care. It's a small market area. They're just doing local advertising, trying to hit a target audience.
Well, to answer your question in just very simple terms, I genuinely do sincerely believe that WWE has become the New York Yankees of the early 90s or the mid 90s, maybe the early 2000s.
I just think they're the Yankees of all times. I mean, that's your number one sports organization. They are the top dogs. You even go back to you're talking about it almost hurts my head to think about WWE running an indie show. That is a Chinese riddle. It's impossible. They can put any buzzword they want and pull as many marks as they want. It's still a WWE product if they slap their balls all over it.
Well, really quickly, and Mr. Michael Davis makes a good point that at one point in juncture, Impact Wrestling had they were pulling ads on WWE. It wasn't even a few years ago. I think it might have been only 2 years ago.
I think it was when Hogan and Bischoff here. They were paying advertising dollars in some big markets to get their stuff on WWE time slots.
Right, but the fact of the matter is that would cost them an arm and a leg, and I don't think an MLW could afford that.
No, it's not an arm and a leg because you're buying markets, you're buying market shares. You're not buying from USA. You are buying in a syndicated area. Okay. Those commercials go to a guy like our good friend Michael Jargo, my partner in crime over in the Hitting Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast, who's a master controlman for Sinclair, who plugs in things for Fox and other affiliates there. He plugs in their commercials, makes sure that the news are on. That's how that works. It's a big interchangeable part.
Okay. Okay. I just assumed that because you know how Vince McMahon, how he kind of basically blocked ROH, Ring of Honor, from freaking having an indie show, having a show at Madison Square Garden. He would be as so fickle as to also block an indie show from having a commercial. I could see that.
That actually, I would refer people back to go over and check out the archives at the Hitting Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast. You can Google that thing. It's on Podbean. It's on iTunes. We're everywhere. We actually have a detailed description. It wasn't so much WWE as maybe Ring of Honor and Sinclair was dotting the I's and crossing the T's before the ink was signed on a contract that actually hurt them here. But Ray, just to get the news I want to hear from Ray. One more before we jump into Raw. We're kind of talking television. This is a great transition. The Raw extension with USA has been well received. It looks like they're going to stay at 3 hours. And now it also looks like SmackDown Live is heading to Fox Sports 1, where everyone assumed it was going to go to the major network, the big time Fox. Man, any thoughts here?
Well, I mean, Fox Sports 1 has actually, it's not Fox. All right. It's not tuning into Fox where you've seen The Simpsons the last 30 years or whatever. But I'll tell you what, Fox Sports 1 is putting forth some really good television, some really good stuff. You got now they lost the whole UFC gimmick, so they needed something to replace that. So that makes sense. I'm wondering if we're going to be able to watch, because I have the whole Fox Sports app on my phone. Now, I'm wondering if you're going to be able to stream SmackDown live, because pretty much if you have that forks, if you have the forking, anyway, if you have the Fox Sports app, will you be able to stream SmackDown live on that application? I mean, taking SmackDown to go, that would be fantastic. I think if they do that, that'll be fun. I think it's great, man. Fox Sports 1 is, if I'm correct, Rick, and you might have to clarify this with me, it's pretty much in well over 80% of the United States cable market, correct?
It is growing leaps and bounds. It's probably at this point with the way it's growing, it's around 65 to 70% less than ESPN, who is obviously your leader in sports entertainment. What really intrigues me that this thing's going to Fox Sports 1 instead of actually just Fox is the potential for reruns during the week and other programming where maybe we get like a sports center or a studio show during the week, or a pre and a post show to open up more, just to open up more programming from WWE. Man, they threw a lot of money their way. They're going to be expecting a lot from these individuals. I think this is pretty exciting for them.
Well, some people. Okay, I'm sorry, Rick.
Well, let's even talk about, like on nights of I hate the term pay-per-view. I think that's a little past its time, but let's say marquee events, special events. Dude, you could have a whole hour pre-show like UFC does their prelims on Fox Sports 1 to build up to a big show like that. It really gives you something very special and unique, a different true sports feeling going in.
Well, I think it would be a great idea to use Fox Sports 1 again, like you just said, because again, for most big UFC fights or all UFC pay-per-views, they do have the prelims usually on Fox Sports. So you can have the preliminary matches on Fox Sports 1, and then hey guys, go to the WWE Network or subscribe to the WWE Network for WrestleMania, and you have a nice 1 hour show. Back in the day, they used to do this on
USA.
On USA, yeah, on USA.
You had that Heat lead in. Hey, our boy, Stevie Knight Heat. He was always leading in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they also did some things on MTV during its heyday. So, yeah, man, absolutely. I think it's a great move for WWE. And some people are still hearing, I think not Richard, who was it? Michael Davis, I think. Or was it Bane? Hold on. Michael Davis says that he's still hearing that it'll be on the main channel, but you have pretty good sources that state that it is going to Fox Sports 1.
It actually has been released. It is going to Fox Sports 1. It's actually been released by Fox and WWE that they're heading to FS1.
Yeah, so I know your sources. And again, you said WWE has pretty much.
Yeah, my source is WWE and Fox Sports. So it's not like I had to dig too deep. I just opened my browser and got alerts. So that is. But you know what? We were talking about things that possibly could be prelims or pre-show. Let's kick it over to the Red Brand. Let's jump right in to Monday Night Raw. And the way we got lined up, we're not going by the segments. We're talking about the hot news, the happenings. We're going to open this thing up with Bayley versus Sasha. This has been one of those slow burns. This has been brewing between these two best friends. We really haven't known who really stands where, who is against each other, who's the baby, who's the heel. They haven't drawn a line in the sand. But this week, we get a very vicious Bayley lashing out. I know a lot of fans, a lot of pro wrestling enthusiasts out there, they are taking this different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Big Ray, I know last night when I talked to you, you just heard about it.
Yep.
And when you were getting ready to watch it this afternoon, I said your opinion might change. Where do you stand now?
I still feel the same thing. I think Bayley will turn heel, or she has turned heel. Now, here's the thing. I was speaking to a couple of people, and they feel that it may have they liked the segment. They thought the attack was great, but not too happy that she has to go into some type of rehabilitation for whatever she's going through in her brain. And there is a fear that I have that they can take this, which I think could be a really great turning point in Bayley's career, and turn it into like a freaking comedy angle. That would really terribly suck. Now, I told you, Rick, that I feel that screw that. Next week, Bayley comes out with some tight black leather pants, a nice tight little black leather vest with some black lipstick. Her hair, instead of straightened or in a little ponytail, have it curled out nice and thick, like when Stephanie used to wear her hair all curly and stuff like that. Dude, go out there and just slap bitches in the face. Rick, your thoughts?
I'm gonna say, initially, when it went down, My thought was, why are they doing this in her hometown? Because they knew when she went on the attack, she is going to get a pop. And when I sat back and I listened and I go over to Facebook and I look at some of the greatest wrestling minds, some of the greatest pro wrestling enthusiasts giving us their takes on this over on Facebook, the Hameen Media discussion group, it is very split how they see this thing. It is still undefined who is the heel. A lot of people are thinking, you know, this is just Bayley coming out of her shell. She is tired of being the abusive one in this relationship. She's had enough. And it makes me wonder, though, because they do this in her hometown where she actually kind of acts like a heel but gets a pop, that they are still going with Team Sasha versus Team Bayley, which to me is a mistake. Now, Ray, I agree with you. You know, if you're going to go with her in that heel, you need to come out next week and define her as that, change her look, have a different attitude. But then they announce what is obviously is going to turn into a terrible comedy skit where she's going to counseling for her anger.
Well, you know, just to solidify what I was saying regarding her. Oh, by the way, I'm getting requests. Hold on a second, XL8. Here it is for you, brother. You wanted me to spin the belt, which I will do from now on every single week, at least twice during the show. Michael Davis said, and I quote, "Bayley as a heel is very interesting. Did you hear her saying you ain't shit to Sasha after the attack on Sasha?" I didn't hear it. I'm sure Michael heard it. Did anyone else here in the chat hear it?
I was going to say, you know, everyone sound off. Yes, she actually did that.
Well,
but again, no, that comes back to, is she so frustrated with everything that Sasha is that stuck up, just mean girl personality that she's finally snapped herself, where she could still say, I'm here to do it. I'm here to do it right. But I'm tired of people that use nice people like us. We're not going to be stepped on anymore. My worry is here, what they need to do is draw that line in the sand. Tell us who's heel, who's face. I don't care which direction they go. My worry is we're still going to sit here with this Team Sasha, Team Bayley. This isn't Twilight. We need to find sides.
My man, and I know we haven't gotten to SmackDown yet, but I don't get it either, because Natalya comes out on SmackDown tonight. We're going to talk about SmackDown in a second, but I just wanted to bring this point up because it correlates.
We're going to keep talking. Natalya's on Raw.
Oh, shit. All right. So then, yes. So Natalya, okay, comes out, right? And she has issues or whatever, and she brings out her friend who's freaking, what's her name? Big Gimmick Jones. What's her name again? The big girl. Samoan. The Rock's cousin.
There's a big girl?
The Rock's cousin? What's her name?
Yeah, this whole thing with Nia. Let's jump ahead. Let's just all group the women talk together here.
Well, let me finish my point.
I know, but we're gonna group them all together. We'll run with it.
I'm just gonna say, is Nia a freaking heel or is she a freaking baby face? What is she?
They have no idea what to do with her. They're trying to market to so many different angles, and they're so afraid to offend anybody with anything they're doing in the women's division. It's almost sick, and it's actually hurting everyone in the division.
I agree. Like, you don't. Number one, look, I think it has. What happened to clear and concise heel turns? What is this whole tweener crap? A couple of years ago, we didn't know whether Seth Rollins was a good guy. We didn't know whether he was a bad guy. We didn't know anything. It's okay. I get you have certain heels that have baby face where people cheer them, and I guess you would technically call them a baby face or whatever. This is what happened with Braun Strowman. Was there an official? Do you remember? That's the same thing. Do you remember an official baby face turn for Braun Strowman? I remember back in the day when Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff turned on Hulk Hogan. He turned on Hulk Hogan. He freaking grabbed him. He aligned himself with Bobby the Brain freaking Heenan, hits the pile driver on Hogan. Well, he's a bad guy. Macho Man turns good. Macho Man does. Oh, yeah. He just reaches in there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dig it. He reaches in. He gives the mega power handshake with Hulkamania. Yeah. Dig it. And you know that he's officially a good guy. So now we don't know what the hell's going on, Rick.
The problem is now with especially it's just WWE. You go to any other wrestling person, you go to New Japan, you go to Ring of Honor, you go to Impact. They actually tell you who's a bad guy, who's a good guy.
Oh
The
yeah.
problem with WWE is they are so afraid nowadays because they've conditioned fans to just hate their own management. When they actually want to put a good guy out there like Roman Reigns, everyone craps on it. And then when you love someone like a Daniel Bryan, where they didn't really want it to happen, they don't know what they're doing. I mean, look at Rusev Day. They've been trying to hold this down for so long, they just can't handle it, and they've actually conditioned people to hate them themselves. Through their storylines, and it goes back to actually to the Mr. McMahon character. Yeah, I'm corporate. I own it. I hate all of you. So we've actually been conditioned for 3 decades to hate their corporation.
Yeah, but on top of that, Rick, on top of that, to put the poop icing on the crap cake, then you put your big baby face on the TV in Roman Reigns, or the Samoan dog, as Billy Ray Valentine calls him, and he says, "I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the guy." What does that even mean?
Dude, you are lining me up. You are putting these on a tee tonight, because the next thing in our run is to talk about Roman and Bobby Lashley.
Oh, good, because I have no run sheet in front of me. So
I know, and you are putting these on a tee. You know, actually, watching this segment open, I actually wasn't watching USA this week. I was actually out at work, but I had time to step aside. I had a stream going. I kept thinking my stream was repeat from last week. Did they just come out and hit the reset this week?
that's
They realized the multi-man match was a bad idea. Maybe that segment didn't go over like they wanted. I thought this opening segment was 100 times better than what we saw last week.
Oh yeah,
I love there's more confidence for Bobby Lashley. Seemed like he belonged a little bit. They pulled Roman back a little bit, and I really liked that they let the Revival steal one here. But let's talk about the substance of the interaction between Roman and Lashley.
Oh man! First and foremost, again, for you guys out there and you girls out there, if you're watching that don't watch Impact Wrestling on a regular basis, listen, guys. Bobby Lashley was the freaking man. She exuded charisma. He was working alongside of American Top Team, and he was doing really good stuff over there. And we were able to see Bobby Lashley, kind of the chains being let down on him, and the dog collar, the Samoan dog collar, being taken off a little bit this week. And Bobby Lashley made me believe that Bobby Lashley would kick Roman Reigns' ass. And that was cool. And I felt the tension between those two guys. And yeah, man, let me tell you something. It was great to see the Revival steal one. The only thing is that the Revivals, now this is think about how huge a win this is for the Revival in retrospect. But is it, or is it just a side note to put over the fact that these two guys can't get along? So it's kind of a lose-lose if you think about it for the Revival. Am I wrong?
I have to agree with you. I think it just speaks to how poor the tag division is. That it's such just like a cliff note to what's actually going on here. But in terms of what we're talking about in the tag division, yeah, this immediately has to jump them to the top of that division. We're going to talk about here in a minute what's going on in the tag division. But it's got to make them kind of important, or does it? I don't know, but. You know what? I actually want to get back to the real subject here. Now we're going to get Roman versus Lashley one-on-one at Extreme Rules. Do you think Lashley needs his training camp to really bring some fire, and it could make him a serious, get people interested for him and Brock at SummerSlam, or is he just feeder here?
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. For some reason, I can't. What the hell was the guy from American Top Team, the founder? Do you remember the owner of the American Top Team?
I was hoping you were. The name escapes me. I know if you said it. It's like on one of those things on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, we actually had him on the Impact.
I know you guys. You know what? Talk. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look it up real quick. But that gentleman cut some amazing promos, and you had a bunch of MMA fighters from American Top Team, some of the top fighters in the world. And for some reason, again, his name is escaping my brain because I'm an old man. But neither here nor there. Yeah, that would be great if they brought American Top Team into the WWE and show Bobby Lashley working out with American Top Team. You get that name there? No, right?
I get that. Well, I mean, how cool would it like him to come out and confront Paul Heyman? Hey, you guys have been dodging us here. Let's get this done. You're not the only voice. You're not the only advocate. I've got my guy. I've been training here for a long time.
Yeah, if anybody, oh, Dan Lambert, thank you, Michael Davis.
Yes, thank
All
you
right.
there. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Michael Davis. So yes, Dan Lambert. If you guys have never heard this guy cut a promo,
I'll say, how amazing is he on the mic?
Well, let me tell you how amazing he is, because me and Ben are very close ties with Impact Wrestling. We have a lot of friends within that company, and they were just telling us straight up, man, that this dude was going on and he was just doing first take promos, boom, first take promos, boom, first take promos, boom. Just nothing. Like, this guy was a natural, and he was a natural heel, and he was a cowardly heel, even though I'll be honest with you, Dan Lambert will be able to kick your ass. Okay, guys. Dan Lambert is a very dangerous man, but neither here nor there. He was great on the stick, and that would be phenomenal. Listen, guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, type in Dan Lambert, Impact Wrestling, see where they got there. And could you imagine a verbal sparring session with he and Paul Heyman? They could even do a fun gimmick match on the Raw leading up to, or the Raw leading up to a major pay-per-view. There's so many good things, man, you could do with these guys, and I think it'd be great.
They got money going forward there, but we're gonna roll on, and rolling on, we're gonna Rollins and Ziggler main event. Intercontinental Championship, man. Going to this thing, fans are buzzing about this thing. I've seen a Rollins match 100 times. If you've seen it 100 times, you've seen it once. You've seen it once. You've seen it 100 times. This one actually impressed me. I like the story they told here. 30 minutes. Ziggler working the body most of the time. The back half, they get Rollins stuff in. They kick McIntyre out. You kind of think Rollins might have an opportunity here, but they come and spoil it. Big dog Roman here to save his Shield brother. It was a fun main event.
You know what? I just wanted to quickly, and I'm gonna talk about that, but I like putting people over, and I like helping to promote people that are our friends. And Mr. K Daddy, or the guardian of Chaos Big Daddy, he said, just an FYI, starting July 8th at 5 p.m., myself and former WWE/former WWE WF star Mario Mancini. I don't know if you remember them. I remember Mario Mancini.
Yes, sir.
Begin the hashtag, and it's hashtag the Mario and Chaos Show at WCNX Radio. Please check them out. So very cool. Yo, dude, I absolutely remember Mario Mancini. Very cool, man. Please link us. We'll help you promote it, man. So let us know what you need from us.
Hey, even from those guys beyond here at One Wrestling Video, make sure you're jumping in over on Facebook, the Hamid Media Discussion Group, sharing all your content over there. Hey, our platform, everything that Big Ray and I, since we've come together on this grand adventure of podcasting, we are about putting others over, about helping everyone just spread their good name, spread the good word. We got great minds over there that would love to talk about it and hear that show.
This is called the Internet Wrestling Community. So that's why we try to help out. But please give me your question again, my friend. I'm sorry.
Oh, I almost forgot myself for putting over people. Man, we're talking about Rollins and Ziggler. I thought it was a fun match. Usually I have been down on Rollins because it's the same match, but I actually liked this one. I liked how Ziggler was working all the injuries at the beginning. Then you let Rollins get his stuff in. I thought it was a good fun closer for the show.
No, man. No, it was good. Absolutely agree with you. Hey, listen, man. Some people are crapping on this Raw. Said it wasn't very good. I didn't think it was that bad. I actually quite enjoyed this Raw. I didn't think it was the greatest Raw I've ever seen in my life. But I will tell you this. I've enjoyed it quite more than I've enjoyed many other Raws. If that makes any sense. But anyway. Go ahead, Rick. I'm sorry.
No, it was very nice, but we got to keep moving here because we got to keep the pace, man.
Okay. Go ahead.
It was a good job here. So let's talk about the tag division real quick because this thing was only in passing. We finally saw the AOP, the Authors of Pain. We finally saw them. They were tabs. So I guess apparently they're not getting repackaged. I guess that was a visa issue, or maybe they just gave up on what they were doing. I thought this was probably a low point on this show.
Oh, well, first and foremost, Mr. XL Abe, and I'm not going to rephrase what you said here on the chat, but please, would you please roll one up for me as well? That would be fantastic. Anyway, neither here nor there. So Akam and Stakem actually finally come back on Raw. They beat up on Nacho Libre and his tag team partner, Nacho Libre Jr., which was hilarious. Those guys look like they should have been wrestling on the Nacho Libre movie. It was quite funny. They went in there, Akam and Stakem, or whatever the hell. You know what's funny? These two guys have to wear their name tags on their gimmicks, on their vest gimmicks. So they probably would forget each other's name, but neither here nor there. Those guys really did. They did what they're supposed to do, man.
I heard they're intentionally messing with you, and they're switching up their vest each and every week just to confuse you, Big Ray.
Oh no! Now we got one guy who's got the whole hair gimmick going. He's got some nice fluffy hair. He actually looks almost as handsome as you. Know, he looks as handsome.
You know it'd be great though if their vest said Nikki and Brie on them.
That is just edibles. We got edibles here. I'm sorry.
Nikki and Brie, and you're talking about edibles? Yes, I am totally in with that, man.
Listen, man.
Let's finish it up with the Raw tag team before we jump over to SmackDown. Yes, wonderful. The B team versus the leaders of worlds. We get Axel going over here in a quick match over Hardy. I don't know if it's getting chilly in there, or do we have something going on? Are we being interrupted here? Do we have an intermission? Okay, we were just talking about here. So we kind of get the skits. We get another skit. This is all about character work. This is all about fun. You guys used to remember the girl from NXT, blue pants. Now we have blue sheet going on.
Yes. Is that awesome? Behind me, this is what they had behind them. They had a blue effing sheet, and they didn't iron the sheet. Rick, why can't they just iron the sheet behind them? I'm gonna do I should do the rest of the show with this. Next week, I'm gonna block all this stuff, put a blue sheet behind me, dude, and just call it a day. Am I wrong?
No,
it's the same color.
Hold on. As much as we are getting paid here at One Wrestling Video, man, I thought you would have a curtain, like you hit a button and it just goes across. You're doing manual props now.
You know what? I'm gonna hold on before I click over to my camera. I'm gonna take this stupid gimmick off here. Much better. I like the Conspiracy Horseman shirt. Again, go to www.prowrestlingtees.com/binhameen. Anyway, dude, listen, are we going to talk about this match? Because I quite enjoyed the banter between both the B team. And
there's not much in the match. It's just about the banter going on. This is character work back and forth at its finest.
Yeah, dude. Listen, you can say what you want about the B team. I am a huge fan. Will they put the titles on them? I hope so. I doubt it. I'm pretty much like 80% or 85% sure they're not going to put the titles on them. And as closer we get to a Backlash pay-per-view, I'll have a better idea on what they're going to do. I would love it, man. I mean, these guys have been on a roll. They're very good. And I'm talking about the B team. Yeah, I'm talking about Bo Dallas. I'm talking about Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel is absolutely wonderful. Yes, with his impression of Matt Hardy, and man, Bo Dallas got his brother perfect when he wears that stupid old gimmick hat that he used to wear back in the day. I love it, man, and this is so much fun. And I think this feud, yeah, part of it is silly, but maybe it won't be so silly when Curtis Axel and you know what? I'm going to call it now. I think the B team wins the SmackDown titles.
You're calling it. No, the Raw titles, man.
Yeah, same shit. Whatever. Raw, SmackDown.
Red, blue, green jacket, gold jacket. Who gives a? But we are talking about the B team. We're talking about blue sheets. So let's kick it over to the blue brand. Big Ray, we got about 20 minutes to close this out. We're going to make this a great 20 minutes to talk about SmackDown Live.
Okay.
We open up with Miz TV, and he's got the Bludgeon Brothers out here, man. I'm going to let you run with this a little bit because I got to be honest with you. I missed this damn open.
You what?
I missed it. I was going back and looking at it, and it was just one of those things. I missed it.
I understand. You were busy. All right. So no, I mean, basically, you have the Miz come out, and you think the Miz is going to I don't know. You think the Miz is gonna interview these guys, and these guys look like they want to kick the Miz's ass, basically. And he's trying to do his best, and the Miz does great behind the mic. I don't think the Bludgeon Brothers should ever come out for an interview, but it was a setup for Danny O'Brien to come out. We still don't know why Danny O'Brien really freaking got attacked by the Bludgeon Brothers. There is no explanation, and this is what I have a problem with, because okay, I get it, it's an intriguing storyline, but why? Is this beef going way back to the Wyatt family? Like, are they still upset that he betrayed, that Danny O'Brien joined the Wyatt family, he betrayed them? Maybe that's what it is.
That's a very good point. I kind of like the underlying things they've done. Just in that passing, maybe they remembered, because these guys are out for blood now, and they see Daniel Bryan, a little wounded guy, walk into that match last week looking for a gauntlet. And they're kind of like, what? We remember I got shades of that early. We're going to talk about that main event here in a little bit. I got shades of that match there. But I think it makes sense to have the Miz come out, because last week you almost think the Miz somehow hired these guys or got to them to go take out Daniel. I'm actually going to give him a hat tip. I think there's a lot of underlining details that can make this story interesting.
Well, they're much like our good friend Shrek, as Donkey pointed out to him, or as Shrek pointed out to Donkey. He's like an onion, and there are many layers. And I think there are many layers to this story, Rick.
That's what I think is intriguing. But we actually kick off the big action. It's Rusev Day versus Xavier Woods. A little history there. It's time to start building up the number one contender. Rusev goes over. What'd you think here?
I think anytime Rusev wins makes me happy.
You know what? I thought it was a fun match. I'm loving all the interaction. I'm still very interested to see where, Rusev's going towards AJ Styles. I don't think there's many of us out there that believe he's actually going to win this thing. I am still going to, as I said here last week on Smacktalk, One Wrestling Video, I am predicting, and I am still standing by that. I've stood by it on the Hitting Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast. I've stood by it in the locker room, the Hami Media Group, and I will stand by it again here. Smacktalk, One Wrestling Video. Expect a double turn at Extreme Rules between AJ Styles and Rusev.
Wow, you think so? I wouldn't mind seeing. Oh, okay. You know what? Hold on, Rick. I'm sorry. I'm getting called out on my Shrek impersonation, which I did none. I don't know how to do one. Let me see. Donkey, we have layers, many layers like an onion. Is that good? Does that work? That's the best I can possibly do. Now, a double turn. You think AJ Styles is turning heel after they put him on the cover of WWE 2K19? I highly doubt that, my friend.
2K put him on the cover. WWE might be a little mad that one of their own wasn't chosen there. And that game does not come out from over a year from now. There's a lot of swerves to be had.
That's a negative.
A lot of twists and turns.
No. I got to call the hole in your gimmick here, bro. We'll go hole in your gimmick. You know what I mean?
No, it comes out in October, right?
It comes out this October.
Yeah, this October. There's a lot of swerves you can have, especially coming up with this 1 million challenge to beat him. How hot would that be if you're going there to play a heel AJ Styles instead of hey, I love everyone. I'm phenomenal. You go in there, I'm better than everyone.
You know what, man? Listen, I don't want them to turn AJ. I think AJ Styles is one of those very few baby faces that people really love. I hear where you're going at, man. I think Rusev, they had the opportunity, several opportunities, to put Rusev in a spot where he could have definitely turned babyface, and they're not going to do it. And if he does turn babyface, guess what? We're probably not going to know it. He is
a baby. The crowds want him. And he's actually someone that they will cheer over AJ.
And Kelly Matthews, you make a great point, and he's right. And I quote him right here. It says Rusev doesn't need to turn face. he's getting cheered and is so over right now. And he's selling merchandise. I'm paraphrasing, and he's selling merchandise like crazy. And he has a hot, beautiful wife. And he's doing commercials. I don't know if you guys see. I don't know if you guys locally see the commercial that he did for. I think it was like the dollar store, whatever the hell, or it's a Snickers commercial where they go into the dollar store and Rusev goes in. And he starts acting all silly and starts buying everything. And his wife gives him a damn Snickers so he could turn back to Rusev. Hey, dude. I can't disagree with you guys. I think Rusev is over. He is a baby face, Rick.
Rusev is already a baby. Management's not going to acknowledge it. Once they acknowledge it and fully embrace it, this thing's going to go to the next level. And right now, they need something different with their champion. And I firmly believe, just on the AJ side, the best program going forward is Daniel Bryan versus AJ somewhere here in these next couple months. AJ is great as a heel. He can handle it. I'm still going to stand by it. That is my bold prediction. I've been saying it here for weeks. I'm going to stand by it.
Okay. All right. Very cool. And really quick, I want to go back at Guardian of Chaos Big Daddy, who is saying that if you go to hashtag Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, they're up in Connecticut by the Mohegan Sun or in the Mohegan Sun Casino. Do me a favor. Give me a follow on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Send me a private message there and we can hook up. It's only like an hour and a half from where I live, and I can definitely drive up there and maybe we can talk some business. I can interview some of your wrestlers, so on and so forth, or who you have booked to help you promote. Have no problem doing that. So that would be fun to do. So hit me up when you get the chance. All right, brother? I might not reply right away, but I'll definitely hit you back up. Or you can send me an email at bigrayswrestlingshow@yahoo.com. You're calling this double turn, Rick. I know you're sticking by your guns, but I'm wondering if Mr. Abe XL gave you something to smoke, my friend.
Hey, man, the only thing I smoke is knowledge, truth, and understanding of great marketing. That's what I do here. But, if you want to talk about truth and bringing clarity to the masses, man, let's talk about this United States Championship Open Challenge. Jeff Hardy was actually supposed to take, before we get to a match, he was supposed to take on Nakamura. Apparently, there was a McGruff the crime dog in the area that wanted some Asian cuisine.
He wanted some biscuits
this evening. Is this actually true that he actually get bit, or are they just trying to blow this thing off here?
No, man.
You sent me the story. I'm going to let you tell the story. You sent this to me just before air, and I had to pop and chuckle, man. This was great.
I thought it was BS, but no, I confirmed it. And then after I confirmed it, a couple of major websites actually confirmed it as well, and people that I actually trust confirmed it. So yeah, apparently he was backstage on Monday, or was it Monday? I can't remember the day, but anyway. He was outside the arena, and one of the police dogs lunged at Shinsuke and bit his leg. And the thing is that the reports are not specific. They do not specifically say how bad the injury was, how deep the bruise was. I'm assuming that if a police dog attacks Shinsuke, those police dogs bite, and they bite hard. So he may have some damage to the muscle. I don't know how deep it went, but he was not able to perform today. So WWE had to do the old switcheroo, and it's funny and sad at the same time. I spoke to Ben. Ben thought it was absolutely hilarious. Oh, wonderful. Yes.
I would say, man, the king of dog style. This is freaking hilarious to me.
The king of dog style. That is
the king of doggy style.
Hashtag wait, hold on. What is it? Kelly Matthews. Was Shin bit on the shin?
That is tremendous.
That's amazing.
That is tremendous. I guess he wasn't throwing too stiff of a kick if the dog was biting on there. This is what you get, kids. If you walk around for too much, punching people in the balls, you're gonna get bit. So when this was announced, that there's gonna be an open challenge, who did you think was gonna come out, Ray? How would you align this up? Because I'm gonna say, honestly, I didn't see this coming. Who actually came out?
No, I didn't see it coming either. I thought they should have booked the dog. I think the dog should have came out. I think that the dog should have came out and pissed in the middle of the ring and walked out. So not the dog.
Hey, what about not that this might come off incredibly racist, but hell, it's wrestling. You know what? You couldn't book the JYD, but what if you had R-Truth? Because he's on hand, he's on SmackDown brand,
Oh,
came out
Christ.
thinking he was the JYD, and played something there.
When did he become a schizophrenic? Or not schizophrenic? What are those people that have like multi-personalities? Is that schizophrenic?
R-Truth? He doesn't know what's going on anywhere, man. When he showed up on SmackDown, he thought he was on Raw. I mean, this guy thinks he's afraid of ladders, but then he climbs up and just starts reaching for imaginal titles out of nowhere. I mean, this guy is everywhere.
He did have an invisible friend named Jimmy. I will tell you that. A good choice. Listen, man, you could have pulled out you could have effing had Arn Anderson back there with one arm freaking fight. I did not expect who we got, and me and you spoke about this, and we were both very disappointed. Where, I mean, we just who thought
it ended up being Eric Young from Sanity, and to me, they completely missed the mark with this entire segment.
Oh, they're not hitting the marks like the Hitting the Mark podcast at podbean.com. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they completely missed the mark there, unlike we do every Friday morning over at the Hitting Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast, hittingthemarks.podbean.com. But yeah, to get the Usos involved here, it makes sense for the storyline purpose. But to have Eric Young take a pin here, Sanity's they're just very new and they're taking a loss. I don't know.
No, listen, this match should have ended when everything went crazy. Double disqualification. That's fine. By the way, Eric Young, I thought to myself, I said, this is all right. Now I understand. Like, all right, I said to myself, why would they book Eric Young? Duh. He worked with freaking Jeff Hardy and TNA for years. So, okay, that makes sense. They've had dozens of matches, but dozens. They've probably had 100 matches in Impact Wrestling. And then he couldn't take a twist of fate. And I hate to call out a botch, but this seemed a little weird. But all right, he didn't take the twist of fate. It was kind of a botch. I don't know if you noticed that. Is what it is. I hate calling out an in-ring worker's work, but it was so clear to me. I would feel remiss not to mention that. So the timing seemed a little off during this match, but neither here nor there. I said, you know what? If you're gonna have these guys come in, fucking hell, put the title on this guy. Put the title on Eric Young. That would have been cool. It was cool for me to see Eric Young wrestling in a SmackDown ring. That was cool. I quite enjoyed that. But the match should have ended with chaos. The match should have ended. Both teams, both factions, whatever the hell, look strong. But no, they make it a 6-man tag. And what happens, Rick? What happens here?
Well, then again, man, we don't really have. I don't think Sanity looks good in any way coming out of this thing. Where you're introducing someone that we've had vignettes for months. We've been waiting for them. Now we've had it in the last couple of weeks. They're not making a statement. They are nothing more than 50-50 booking in a WWE universe.
Sorry, I missed that. I was texting Kelly.
I get that they're just nothing more than a 50-50 booking in a WWE universe. But I do want to keep you moving here because you brought up Chaos. Our good friend Chaos in the chat room, he brought up a question earlier and we promised we'd get back to it. So here we are. He was asking about Becky Lynch and if we see her moving forward for, like a title run or getting into that picture. Becky Lynch looking very good over Sonya Deville, who obviously had Mandy Rose in her corner.
Becky Lynch, I don't know what it is. I don't know what's in the water or in the protein shakes she's drinking. For some reason, at first I used to think she looked weird. Did she get some? I don't know. I'm gonna sound like a douche for saying this. Did she get some type of surgery to her face or something? Or something like she looks.
I think it's the way she's been. She's changed up her ring gear. She's changed up a little bit of just
the makeup or something. Dude,
maybe it's her makeup. Just her body interactions in there. She's always been. She flows a little better in the ring too. Where she used to be very. And I know this is going to sound very unpopular because everyone likes to praise and love NXT, but everything down there is very robotic. Where it's very different, where you're out there every night on the road working different matches and adapting to the Raw and SmackDown kind of style. Where in NXT you have you're at the Performance Center working on your match all damn week. She's adapted more. She feels more comfortable. She's more loose in that ring.
No, Rick, I'm not even talking about that, dude. I think she just looks more beautiful, and I don't mean to. She looks prettier. She looks cuter. She looks hotter. I don't know what the hell it is.
I actually said everyone knows I am always coming to my defense because I actually believe there is no one more all around that embodies beauty or excellence in a woman than my precious Shar Shar. But if we're just talking about pure looks, dude, there is no one more beautiful on this roster than Becky Lynch.
Well, I can't disagree with you, but anyway.
The problem is,
here we go.
When she opens her mouth, she that accent just does not translate over. She sounds like Madeleine Albright.
Rick, what are we talking about? We talking about this match, man?
Talk about the match. Hey, you know what? They are really selling Deville as that straight MMA fighter on SmackDown. They give her that cool little boo, 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 boo. She got that Rocky kind of thing going on there. You know,
wait, can you do that again? Can you do the Rocky?
Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
There you go. Why not?
Bam. But hey, Becky comes out looking great. I'm going to refer back though over to our good friend Strangler Steve King, who called this out weeks ago. This is just Becky is being built up right now for a total setup. Carmella just ain't money. Carmella is the next Bella, who's a crossover star, and they're going to run her through. At this point, Mella's going to run through Charlotte. She's going to run through Asuka. She's going to run through Becky, who is the three alphas and the talents on SmackDown.
Wow.
That's Strangler Steve, man. That is someone that's been there, done that, who's worked for every major promotion, who has been there and knows everyone. Calling this one, I'm inclined to believe and listen when he speaks.
I don't not believe him. And I do see them. I mean, she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's getting better in the ring. She's got James Ellsworth back with her, which I think is a big plus. I don't care what anybody says. Becky Lynch, man, she's that girl that just is right there. She's that WWE talent that's right there at being pushed over that hill and making a megastar. And this is something, and maybe it's the voice. Maybe you're right, Rick, but it's just something that holds her back, man. And it's a shame. I think Becky Lynch is ridiculously talented, very popular with the kiddies. Yeah, I really don't have much more to say to that. Now, regarding what's her name? Gimmick Jones with James Ellsworth. What's her name?
Carmella.
She's money. And I can, you know what? I'm not going to disagree with Strangler Steve. You know, if I do, I will say it. I don't disagree with him. I could see it, man. I could see this girl being the next Nikki and Brie Bella. She's that beautiful, and but I think she has a little more. I think she has the potential to be a little more talented in ring.
That is my coin. That is my coin right there. It's just, hey, Mella is the next Bella, because they're just looking for someone to be a crossover superstar, someone that can step outside those boundaries of just being an in-ring performer. There's a reason you have not heard the words spoken on WWE television for months now of women's evolution.
Oh, I got breaking news.
Back. What we got?
Okay, so Acer.
Our boy Acer.
I'm just going to paraphrase this here. Mamma Mia, he says. Long story. What is this here? It's a swerve. The big dog makes an unexpected surprise, unprovoked attack on Shinsuke, or the artist Nakamura Rockstar / the King of Bit Style. Mamma Mia. So basically, the Samoan dog is the one that bit Shinsuke, apparently.
Oh, hey, man. Hey, maybe he was crossing over to the Red Yard, man. We don't know there. But you were talking about Mella's money. You're talking about her coin purse. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about James Ellsworth. Mm-hmm. Looks like we're going to get Ellsworth versus Asuka next week.
Is that where they're going with this?
They announced it. He came out, cut his promo, was kind of burying her, said us, Paige, the very beautiful and seductive SmackDown Live general manager Paige comes out, lays down the law and says next week it's going to be Asuka versus Ellsworth.
Well, if you guys do not listen to the Pro Wrestling Reflection podcast over at Hami Media, then you're not going to know what I'm talking about when I say I was busy taking a Tatanka during this whole gimmick.
But you just put over Ellsworth and then you miss this. Hey, you know what? I'm going to put her. Paige was looking amazing tonight.
Listen, okay? I saw a little bit of the replay. I rewound it a little bit.
Paige
did look really damn good.
Do you kind of like the light skin? Maybe someone in the chat room, correct me if I'm wrong here. can we call her like an emo look, or is she a
Sure.
guy? I don't know what you
Goth.
call her.
Goth.
Do you dig that a little bit, Big Ray? I know you're used to those Empire State, those very golden-esque goddesses up there. What is your diversity when it comes to women?
Oh, it doesn't matter. As long as you're beautiful inside and outside, I could not give a damn. I've dated every single. I think I've dated. Wow, I've had them white. My first girlfriend was Jewish. Number one, just so you know that. Her name was Lauren Cohen Frankel. So anyway, that was my first ever girlfriend. And boy, anyway, long story short, yeah, I don't care, man. But
so the first time she brought you home, did they think you were the enemy?
Actually, her parents liked me quite a bit. I'm good with parents.
Like liked you, or like on edge liked you?
On edge like me, like please don't beat us up and take all our valuables, because they lived on a ferry. They were very wealthy. But anyway, neither here nor there. Yeah, Paige looked fantastic. Now you talk about the spectrum of. It really doesn't matter to me, brother. Like I said, as long as you have, you know what. Let's talk here, guys. I don't know if there are any ladies here, but there's something about a woman's smile, and you probably say, "Oh, you're full of crap." No, there's something about a really nice face with a beautiful smile that just takes me over. That's why this young lady that I'm talking to right now, that we like each other a lot. She just has a beautiful smile, and she's just such a beautiful person. It's just she's hot too. But
see,
anyway,
I'm an eyes. The way your eyes move, and then your initial laugh of a woman. That's what gets me. The way their eyes move and a laugh. That's what gets me going here.
This is Love Talk 101, ladies and gentlemen, as we move away from the world of professional wrestling.
This isn't just Smack Talk. This is Love Lines.
And I agree with XLA. Becky Lynch is in fact fire. But no. I was taking this to Tatanka, and I did come back in time to rewind it really quickly, and I did see what kind of was going on between them, and I liked the way she was being seductive, and James Ellsworth. I don't know, maybe it was just me. James Ellsworth looked like he had to kind of lean over a little bit, maybe he was hiding something in his pants, the way this girl was filling up on him. But yeah, man. So James Ellsworth versus Asuka. It's gonna be a squash match again. James Ellsworth is not gonna hit Asuka, not going to land a punch, not going to do a body slam, not going to do anything. She's just going to kick the living shit out of him, and that's going to be it.
How cool it though, they actually brought his intergender championship.
Oh my God, why don't they do that, Rick?
How cool would that be? They actually made a big presentation how he is actually the intergender champion of the world, and actually played that thing up next week. I mean, that could be a main event match, but we're on the backside of the scene. We're ready to get out of here. Let's talk about the actual main event. For Smackdown tonight, we got Daniel Bryan versus Luke Harper. Obviously, he's got Rona's corner, the Bludgeon Brothers. Daniel Bryan. This one popped me. I knew it was coming, because I got to give mad props to my brother.
Oh, yeah.
Michael JARGO. Michael JARGO has been calling this thing for a little while here. He's been setting this thing up. He thought it was going to be played out. I said, JARGO, no, you don't play it out. You don't let people get hot to this thing. You do it this week. We called this in the Hitting Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast. We called this in the locker room with the Hameen Media Group. We were all over this thing. Yes. Team Hell No is back. Big Ray, did you pop?
I did pop. I did pop.
After you pooped, you pop.
Who said anything about pooping? I took it to Tatanka. You take that the way it is.
After you Tatanka, you popped. Right.
Listen, dude. Yeah, I popped. Hold on one second. Okay. This Kelly, you're funny. You're a funny dude, bro. I'm sorry. I was reading the chat. Yeah, totally popped. Kane, maybe he's gotten a little softer, since going for that position at Knox, Tennessee, wherever the hell he's his gimmick as a mayor over there. But listen, man, it was fun to watch Kane get in the ring, and then he asked for the hug, and Daniel Bryan, no. I
thought it was genius the way they played that off.
Oh yeah, it was great. And then they continue to hug each other. I think, and then we get the tag team match for the tag team titles. And guess what? Even if they don't go over, it's going to be a match that people want to see. Team Hell No. And both guys can go. This is not like some old team that can't go. You got Daniel freaking Bryan and Kane against these two guys, the Bludgeon Brothers, and it can happen. Like they can put the belt, even if they put the belt on Kane and Daniel Bryan for a week. Why not? The team hell no ever win? They won the tag team titles.
Oh
right?
yeah, yes, yeah, certainly.
Right. Yeah, they did. So, and I remember that. Like my son was still pretty young. This was like 3 years ago, right? Or 2 years ago. And my son loved Team Hell No. Loves Kane, by the way. For some reason, my son
was one of those
loves
things.
Kane.
It was a very organic, growing thing. Just so you know, like a lot of things with Daniel Bryan, like when they started doing the therapy and like hugging it out, everyone's like, "This is cheesy," but it was one of those things that just grew on you, and we all came to love, and it took on a life of its own. Team Hell No is probably one of the most celebrated tag teams in the last 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely, and one of the most entertaining off-air segments. I'll tell you something, man. If WWE really wants to do this right and really have fun with this, you think I'm crazy? Bring out Dr. Shelby to be their manager, even if he's in that corner.
Here's a bad thing, though. I don't know this for certain, but I'm hearing now. I've been getting some messages here while we're recording that they're going to use Dr. Shelby for that Bailey counseling segment on Monday, which is going to confuse things and ruin stuff.
No, I hope they don't do that. You sure?
That's the way it's looking here. I don't know if that's actually set in stone. There's the rumors going on. They're going to ruin the Bailey thing, and kind of because you're confusing between the two shows, it might even actually hurt this Team Hell No reunion.
And by the way, a big shout out to our boy Acer, who's back in this chat room, Mr. Dennis Bridgewater. Guys, you guys joined us very late. We're almost done, actually. But thank you for joining us anyway. We love you guys, man. Acer, thank you so much for everything you do.
Well, you know where Acer lives, it's only like 8:30, man. He's up in that like upper Canadian like wastelands on the West Coast. He's like 3.5 hours behind us, which is amazing. Which is amazing. Well, anything in Canada, right here behind me, as always. The hell with you, Canada. Until you let me back in your country, we have major problems. But you know what? As always, I always will just kind of give them a mean look every time I look over. But you know, it's amazing that Acer is where he's at up there. He always is ready to go with those live chats for all the biggest shows. Any kind of live discussion that's going on over in the Hameen Media discussion group on Facebook.
Yeah, well, again, Mr. Guardian of Chaos, Big Daddy, thank you for joining us. He's got to run, so thank you for joining us, my friend. Blame Canada, I agree. Listen, guys, this was all in all, Rick. If I may wrap this up with a bow really quickly, one hell of an ending, a lot of fun. I'm already looking forward to the pay-per-view because I want to see this match. I thought SmackDown. Now, if we're gonna rank, all right, Rick, I'm gonna ask you. We're gonna rank both shows, okay? Out of face slaps, because we know Ben Hameen, he went to Canada right now, speaking of blaming Canada, and this guy just smacked the living hell out of this kid. Go to @HackerHameen, or is it hacker underscore? I know it's Hacker Hameen. It's one word, @HackerHameen on Instagram, and you'll see Ben Hameen just lay the smackdown on this kid. $5, that's all you get. But now I'm gonna ask you a question. Out of how many face slaps, out of 5 face slaps, do you give Raw? How many face slaps do you give SmackDown, Rick?
You know, a grading on the curve of what we've actually had for the last month, I'm going to give Monday 3.5.
Oh, good. That's about long.
I'm going to give Tuesday 3. I think Raw was better this week.
Wow, funny. I was going to give SmackDown not 3.5. I was going to give SmackDown 3.5. For some reason, I enjoyed SmackDown a little better today. And I was going to give Raw 3. So
for me, I maybe just give them some credit, give them a major shout out. I really appreciated the crowd on Monday night. You know, they cheered for the right people. They booed the right people. They popped at the right times. They had fun when it was appropriate. They didn't make anything about themselves. They weren't like those scumbag Philadelphia fans. They weren't like them scumbag UK fans. They were just fun fans to watch.
Yeah, I think SmackDown. You know what, SmackDown? That's for you. You get the belt spin. You're gonna have to have a gimmick to spin over there, Rick, and don't be fresh.
I spin it on Canada. I guess I could spin in my chair, but
listen, man. All in all, it was a good week of wrestling. I enjoyed it. Impact Wrestling was really good this week. I'm glad we got to talk a little bit of news. Again, guys, we have so much going. Hey, Rick, can I just put something over really quickly?
Well, let me hit my plugs and I'll kick it to you, man.
You got it, brother. Go.
I actually want to start off with you're talking about a great week of wrestling. I want everyone out here listening to us to stay tuned this week to one wrestling video. Friday night, you have the best in the world. Ring of Honor presents the best in the world. Michael JARGO and myself, we are planning on coming here live on one wrestling video to give you a complete show review and breakdown about a promotion that we are very close to, that we love, Ring of Honor. So much happening there that's going to kind of transition to get us set up for the G1 special in California, get us set up for All In for the G1 tournament. We're going to be covering all of that. And of course, everything, Michael JARGO and myself, you can catch us on the Hitting Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast, hittingthemarks.podbean.com. Of course, JARGO and I, each and every Monday, we are over on the Hami Media Network, or the Hami Media Group's platform, in the locker room. Hey, and Ed, how can you miss it here? Tuesdays, I'm with Big Ray for the Smacktalk, man. Big Ray, take it, baby.
Hey, man, listen, I just want to put this over, and I'm going to put it in the description, guys. So after we go off air, you can check it out. Click on, head over to www.350daysthemovie.com. It's a documentary. It's going to be all about the legends of professional wrestling. They're going to be wrestlers that have passed away, like Ox Baker. God, I'm drawing a blank right now, but there's going to be so many of some of the biggest legends in professional wrestling. I'm trying to bring up the website here, but I'll right here we go. All right, so we have guys like Jimmy Superfly Snuka, who is in this movie. Who was it? Angelo Mosca, Tito Santana, Wendy Richter, Mr. Wonderful Paul Ondorf, Superstar Billy Graham, Bret Hitman Hart, Ted DiBiase, Mean Mascaras, Greg Valentine, Lex Luger, Abdullah the Butcher. It goes on and on and on. I am going to be at the premiere on July 12th, which is a Thursday night. I'm going to be accompanied by Billy Ray Valentine, and we're going to have full press credentials to talk to the legends there. And so look here. We're going to try to put up some video here. We're going to try to put some audio for Hami Media, and we're going to have a hell of a lot of fun. Again, go to 350daysthemovie.com. I'm going to put the link down here below the description so you guys can click on that, check it out whenever you have the opportunity. It's going to be amazing. And also, ladies and gentlemen, you'll find me not only here at One Wrestling Video, but you'll also find me over at Hami Media for the Impact Attack. I will be producing the In-Beta podcast for Fame Black, and also I will be producing now the Pro Wrestling Reflection. And on top of that, I'm going to be working with Andre Corbeil and his awesome channel, Wrestling with Wrestling, and with a very cool gentleman by the name of Chuck P. Chuck P, if you're watching right now, my brother, I'll be doing Be the Booker, basically a Be the Booker gimmick twice a month. I got a lot going on, guys, and there's more, but I can't really stooge off. I know Connor, again, he's doing stuff with the Fight Network. I'm not going to stooge anything off. So I'm going to be doing a lot more. Leave it like that, guys. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you've done for me as a pundit here at One Wrestling Video, at Hami Media, even when I was back at WrestleZone, or as we affectionately call it, FWZ. And thank you so much, guys. And you know, I'm just very proud to have a great team around me, and just a great friend of Rick Vickrey. And I always say I would do this for a living, but if I couldn't, I'd do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Rick, you want to say goodbye to the friends? Not fans, friends.
Canada, I hate you.
Oh my God. Blame Canada. Terrible. Terrible. That was me singing Blame Canada. Guys, we love you. Thank you so much for joining us. To all our friends right now, thank you. Low Key 420. Dude, you are so late, and I do not cover Impact, right? I don't cover Impact anymore. I do it for the Impact Attack. Just check it out on Hami Media. Search Hacker Hameen. I do a great podcast with Ben Hameen, but we do have an amazing guy in Matt Schaffer who covers Impact. So check out our latest videos. You'll be able to find it there. But I'm here live every single Tuesday with my Huckleberry, my brother, Rick Vickrey. Rick, I love you, my friend. And I'm just going to click off and say goodbye, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and come back next week. We'll be here. In the words of the legendary Bill Apter, we'll see you at the matches. And in the words of my brother Bill Schuyler up in heaven, we will see you down the road. Say goodbye, Rick.
Good night.
Good night, guys. Love you all. God bless you.